All right, welcome. Y'all work with me right now. I just want to say, man, this is Dynasty the Show, the pod. This is Dynasty the podcast show. I'm your host, Ira Bush. I gotta pull up my I'm finna pull up for the just so the my Instagram live go. We're gonna do Instagram live as well. So work with me real quick. And thank y'all for tuning in, man. I appreciate all y'all. Like I say, every day you're supposed to be thankful and grateful for just being able to wake up and speak. And that's pretty much it. Got a big day coming today. I got stuff to do after the show, and I want to kind of transition on what we was doing yesterday, just working down the hold on, let me get this out real quick. Hold on. I don't want to pause it like I did last time. That's probably what messed my stuff up. I'll pull up the yeah, no, I would be. I kind of wanted to just keep a time frame that I've been doing them live. I know people don't usually listen. I get people to watch after, so it's not a big deal. But bear with me. I might start it over. I don't know. No, I ain't starting that. No, I'm gonna pull this up. Let's be talking. The executive orders. Got to get that pulled up real quick. We ain't gonna go right into it, but all right, got that situated. Welcome everybody. This is Dynasty the podcast show. If y'all just tuning in on Instagram, we got to pull that up live. Make sure everybody on point. Now, first off, like I was saying, it's a big day. I got stuff going on as far as just, I got to go to a school board meeting in West Palm, down in Palm Beach or Forest Hill. If you're a parent that watches the concern, you should go out there and attend. It start at 3 o'clock. It's a 2-hour meeting. I think it's 3 or 3:30, but I'm gonna be there by 3. So it's better safe to start. I got the calendars on the thing. Also, if you're looking for work in the school board, they have a job fair coming up. If you look on the website, you can RSVP for that. Get your stuff ready. Want to sign up early so they can get you checked in the school board. If you want to work in the school, they have plenty of opportunities all across the county. Hopefully they put more people, give more black and brown people. Well, I would say black people because I see brown people in there now. But they give black people opportunity to work in the schools and be around the children properly, like that is supposed to be in the community. And it don't matter the capacity, whether they the cook, whether they the janitor. You need to get good mentors around students. So if you're a parent, a young parent, I'll suggest you go in there. If you don't have a felony or nothing and you try to get your job, it's always opportunity in the summertime to get signed up. So go out there if you're looking for a better job and to be have a time frame with your child. And I'll suggest that. So I might even depending on how things work out for me this summer, I might have to go in there and work too. So I'm gonna see how all that stuff work out this week. And like I said, you got stuff coming out. I'm going to the meeting. I'm going to one next week. That's more a lot more important to me because I had to get some business done handled from last year that it was very disrespectful over there at that elementary school my child went to, and just probably overall in the community, in that the sheriff office and the even the downtown and the with the judges over there. I don't know what they had going on, but it wasn't geared towards my favor, and I didn't like the disrespect. So we're gonna see how everything works. when it comes to that. So like, I'm excited to go up there this week, next week. So it's big for me. It's a big month to remind you. And then shout out to my cousin. Her birthday's today, and she played a big role in developing me as a young person. And it's her birthday, so I appreciate her. Give her flowers out in public. I'll probably just write her on. I would call her, but I'm gonna just probably write her happy birthday on Facebook, and I'll try to, it's big. The oldest was with the three girls, so I put them on a pedestal, and I respect what they did as parents, and and I'm a young parent as well too, so shout out to her. And to go on, we're gonna move forward from the intro. We're gonna go right into like continue to break down these executive orders. We already done like 6 or 7. I started at the oldest ones in May, and then I went to the top to the newest ones that he did. And it was very interesting. I broke them down pretty well yesterday, so we're gonna read through them. It took us about 20 minutes. It took me a little bit longer, so I don't want to keep y'all here. That, like I said, I try to keep the show under hour. I don't have to, but I want people to come back. I want people to be interested in what I'm saying. I don't want people to get bored. And that's pretty much it. And today's show, I called it it's funny because like I be laughing about how I am. I put it like no I forgot what I called it, but basically I don't want nothing to get past. Basically the show is about covering all the bases, making sure I'm staying grounded, making sure I'm not cutting corners, and that's what I try to preach every time I come in and speak. Yeah, let's get right to what I was saying, and then I'm gonna play out some clips, talk about what's going on. Like I said, if you we the people and you holding our person that's in charge accountable. I seen that the Secretary of Education had a whole hearing today. So like I said, her track record didn't say she was an educator, or I didn't say she ain't got a family. I ain't saying she ain't been around people. Her track record didn't say educator. So they put her on the stand today. We're gonna see we're gonna review that tomorrow. We're gonna talk about the meeting that I'm going to today, and we're gonna have a big show tomorrow for sure. So today's the big show. Talking about the executive order is pretty big. So, and breaking them down, giving my opinion is big. So I don't really put too much effort into it. And y'all see the Elon Musk situation with Trump. That's the strawberry story that they want you to focus on, because this hearing is happening today. So all that information came out because they're gonna have to check how she speak about education, and that's what the real main thing of the diversion and the yelling and screaming, because Elon Musk is very tied in with Vincent. Those people probably see each other all the time at dinners and meetings and high line parties, and talking about business. These are big billionaires, so and they all dealing with entertainment now. One with Twitter, one with wrestling. That's been around for that man built that company, got his children and his children are definitely heavy part. He adopted all the men, the sons probably they run the company already, all that good stuff. So that's a lot of money that we talking about. And I ain't hating on got Triple H, Hulk Hogan, all them people, The Rock. You can name the mega stars that came out of there, and all them groups, even just the combination of two men groups and that he made. So I ain't hating on him with the money. I'm just talking about making sure we doing the right thing by the people as a whole. Which he got a lot of. When you have a following, you have a influence. So I look at all that stuff. I ain't really dissing, because when you look deeper into politics and the way the new age is, they want somebody to come out and speak and be a showman. And like I ain't really trying to show. I'm trying to make sure my child is in the right proper reign, and they ain't doing no. My standpoint. I know it comes from the education. I know what the natives and all that come from with these institutions. So we signed it, they signed it, whatever it may be. They didn't, they had a whole bigger plan to control, and then it's not working out exactly how they want it, but they still gonna try to make sure that they get the energy out of it, they get they get the control factor out of it, and they gonna keep trying because we keep sending them there. So all that stuff play hand in hand. Now let's get into it. I started yesterday. I stopped at the Restoring the Gold Standard for Science. We broke that down. Now this is a little bit more older one. It's modifying the reciprocal tariff rates to reflect with the People's Republic of China. Now, mind you, we have already, in the court order, they already stopped the tariff. The president's not trying to go in toe to toe with China with that because they were the main ones that they was going to have to go toe to toe with. We get a lot of trading stuff going back and forth with Asia, and they say China, but it's Asia, and that's a very huge country, and it's one of the 7 continents. And I don't feel like we should be going to war with them at all. And that's pretty much how I look at it. Even in the trade wars, we don't need to be going toe to toe with them. We don't have that. They already got people over here. Literally, they have every part, because a continent, and then they got basically countries. China is a country, so think about all the smaller countries that they got all type of people over here. They've done all type of trade. They make for very low technology, clothes, whatever. They probably do everything but provide the food, and they already got indoor facilities to create their own irrigation system over there. I already know they got plenty of wooded areas over there. They do, they got all kind of deals, and they got everything over there that Africa does. It's a little bit more, they're probably a little bit more sophisticated, but it's a little bit more nutrition and minerals over here in Africa, and it's right next door to each other. Still, certain countries is right a water path away from Africa and China. So it is what it is. You gotta respect what it is, and that's a little bit just from my insight. Now we're gonna go right into it. This is not a big deal because this has already happened. This has already been proposed. Is what I was the thing was written on the 21st, and it's June. It was May 21st. Now it's June 4th, and this executive order really has no real energy behind it because we don't have no more tariffs. Supposedly, it's on hold or wait or whatever they called it. So let's read it just in case they bring it back up. The authority vested, okay, the authority vested in me as president and the Constitution and the laws of the United States, America, including International Energy Emergency Economic Powers Act, the National Emergencies Act, the Section 604 of the Trade Act in 1974 as amended, and the Section 301 and Title 3 United States Code, I hereby determine the order. Now, this is the background. I don't want to read that. I want to read the purpose. Yeah, this one of the funny ones. I'm not gonna read this because I ain't finna get into what they call it. Let me tell you, this is what I was basically saying. The section says the background, so this is not the purpose of it. This is just the background of it. So it was just something they read up just to put these acts and things that is already done. See, that Trade Act was 1974. That's what all I'm gonna tell you because I ain't finna get into all that boo boo blah blah strawberry information that I don't care because it ain't no reason to even read it. That's the one they wanted to reiterate the Trade Act of 1974. Now let's look up to Trade Act of 1974 and read that. Since they want to put that down there and highlight it. The Trade Act of 1974. Currency, the publications. Okay, we're gonna read exactly what they want us to read. I ain't gonna play with them. They be planning on redid something. I ain't finna. I'm gonna read exactly what they want us to read. This is a lot of information. Why do they have the Trade Act? What is its purpose? That's what I want to read. Basic authority for the trade agreement. We just gonna read the first section. There's in this look, the funny thing in this Trade Act, when they written it up, it's in like chapters and sections. So I would say they got a lot going on here. So we're just gonna read the beginning of it, and then I'm gonna go from there because I like when they just try to redo something. This is a lot of information that you have to put in. The basic authority for the trade agreement. Whenever the president determines that there is existing duties and important restrictions for the foreign countries or the United States of unduly burdening and restricting the foreign trade of the United States, and that the purpose of the act will be promoted thereby the president. During the 5 year period beginning of the date of the enhancement of this act, may enter into trade agreements with foreign countries or instrumental 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 thereof, and may proclaim such modification and continuance of any existing duty, such as continuance of existing duty free of excess treatment and such additional duties as it determines to be required and appropriate to carry out any such trade agreement, except as provided in paragraph 2 in proclamation pursuit and subsections shall be made decreasing a rate of the duty and rate below 40% and rate existing January 1st, 1975. Paragraph shall not apply in the case of any article for which the rate of duty existing in January 1st, 1975 is not more than 5% of the volume. No proclamation shall be made pursuant in the subsection and the increasing rate of duty and imposing a rate above higher in the following. The rate which the 50% above the rate set forth the rate column number 2 of the tariff schedules of the United States is effect in January 1st, 1975, or the rate in which is 20% and volume above the rate existing on January 1st, 1975. Now, that is why they've written this up. Now, it's like, I'll say it's like six. It was like, I think I was seeing like how many chapters they have. It was, okay, like I said, they got chapters and sections. Chapter 3, chapter 6, chapter 7, chapter 8. I ain't reading all this. Sorry about that. It's a part 1 and a part 2. The part 1 got 8 chapters, 175 sections, breaking it down and what and why is it this tariff and all this is, and it's basically based off. They want to basically make people remember our first original tariff act, because this is what this is now. The war we were fighting or coming out of or still a part of was the Vietnam War. When did the Vietnam War stop? Now I'm finna break some stuff down to y'all. Like I told y'all who y'all need to check in with, because he's still alive and well since y'all playing around out there. They said the Vietnam War ended in 1975 in April. April 30th, 1975. Now, what y'all seen? Who the first people they attacked? China. That's not the main place. That is who they work with. They work with China. Everybody else is free game to go over there and raid and boss and bully, and China been sold out. If you watch IP Man, you know where they went first to go and figure out their way in Asia. China. They made an agreement. They did all the sports and the combining, and that's one of my favorite movies to watch. You watch the third one. That's when they talk about them combining American and Asia and China, and it was. I think it was Japan as well. I think it was Japan. Sorry, I'm correct. That it might have been Japan, but I'm just letting y'all know it was both probably. I think I don't know how that went. I think Japan was beefing with China, and that's been going on for a long time. But that's internal. That's not. That's just over territory. That's over who's the greater, and and then like y'all see the monkey in the middle coming over there, and I know who rather have peace. Like I said, you want to check in with people who have honor and respect. I already checked my other ones, and you'll see why. And like I said, it's the disrespect in America because they got some. And I'm not even talking about just the president. I'm talking about even my senator, my governor. I don't. These people are not strong, elite people to me. So they feed in and follow behind, and they have this much ranking power, and they don't know how to use it. They don't know. They don't think for themselves. They don't have no set of rules and goals or moral compass to even go out here and establish correct relationships. So, like I said, the tariffs is still pending from the Vietnam War. People want their money. People want their respect. People want they. When y'all went over there and destroyed these people country, they want their lick back. So they not letting that go. You got to figure something out. Y'all putting tariffs on people that y'all made an agreement that y'all gonna trade and share. Y'all don't want to do that. Y'all got somebody toting themselves around like they some high and mighty God, and they really not. They the complete opposite of it. And we got to figure something out. Now I just broke some stuff down to y'all. We're gonna move on. Delivering most favorite nations prescription drug pricing and Americans patient. Now, y'all know how I feel about like if you go over to some, you might be going over y'all head. So go do y'all research on what I already said. This is coming straight from the people who go up there every day on CNN and MSNBC and sign that written agreement, say this is what it is. Now, the purpose of this, the United States has less than 5% of the world's population and yet funds around 3/4 of the global pharmaceutical profits. Stop right there. Now, y'all remember it was a opioid pandemic on pills, and this was like early in 2020 and 2021, before COVID or right before COVID or right after it. People had a problem with opioid addictions, painkiller addictions. This is not from the black community, which they probably have subjugated to it, but this is definitely in the white community. So they want the prices to be lower so they don't have no reports on opioid addiction and people out here scraping every dollar to get a high off a pill. And these people, Asia pretty smart. A lot of this stuff I ain't dissing Asia in no way how they make their money and how they hamper and cripple the American society. They got their hands in some real business with these people. This is part of the trade. This is one of the main things we trade. This is one of the main things they send to us. It's the pills and synthetic opioids, and they got the poppy fields and all that, and they trade. And this stuff is already known worldwide, so I don't know. It's not a big deal. They already put it in the legal and making it, duplicating it in the lab. It's not a big deal. I don't really care. I'm not taking no pills. The last time I ain't gonna say that. The only thing I might take is an Advil, something that help with my sinus. That's about it. Anything else other than that, I'm not taking it. I'm definitely not addicted. I definitely will go the other way before I, how I operate. Now, let's continue to read. The egregious imbalance of the orchestrated through the purposeful scheme in which drug manufacturers deeply discount their products to access foreign markets and subsidize the decrease through enormously high prices in the United States. Like I was just saying, and I did not read that before. I just read that. The United States has too long turned its back on Americans who unwittingly sponsor both drug manufacturers and in other countries. These entities today rely on price makeups and American consumers and generous public subsidies for research and development, primarily through the National Institutes of Health and robust public financing and prescription drug consumption through federal and state healthcare programs. Drug manufacturers, rather than seeking equalized evidence, price discrimination, and agree through the country's demand the low prices and simultaneously fight against the ability for public and private payers in the United States to negotiate the best prices for patients. The inflated prices in the United States fuel global innovation while foreign health systems get a free ride. The abuse of the American generosity who deserve low cost of pharmaceuticals on the same terms as other developed nations must end. Americans will no longer be forced to pay almost 3 times more for the exact same medicines, often made to the exact factories at such a large price and pharmaceutical in America should get the best deal. Now, this is one of the most nearsighted to think that I'm American. I'm not going against what he said. Like, whoever wrote this, I'm proud that you stick out there. Your chest is so big to think that you supposed to get the lowest price, but you don't get the lowest price. You are already monopolized in the arms agreements. You are already monopolized as a soldier, as a supposed to be upright and not even on medication. You know what I'm trying to say? You are already on that side of the top. You think you gonna get these people call you for everything but medicine. You know what I'm saying? They gotta corner the market like this. I'm just giving you from their point of view how they gotta earn and make their money, and so they won't be behind. And the fact that we didn't take enough time to go into the technology side and we poo-poo the knowledge and the brain of the Black Americans that you have over here, and you wanted them to be I just seen the story where they had like 19 headless people that they finally put in the coffin or whatever they was making a story with. Them people should disintegrate that because the other parts were probably sold off in the black market and put in some weirdo who think he's strong and powerful and probably over there with 5 heads and arm this big and one arm this small, and they did so much work on the magic and all kind of hanging people from trees like I've been talking about in previous, but all this stories coming out. I ain't mad at it. As long as people starting to tell the truth, this is the time people starting to speak correctly and properly. It is what it is. And I just read y'all, like I always get my spew, and then the same thing I was saying is the same thing that they wrote. They just trying to put it in the way that they gonna win, but they're already losing. That's why they're writing these things out, and they not understanding why people going against them. They got to remember that they are on the evil side before this, especially when they threw everybody out of London and Britain and whatever other country they threw themselves in, and said United States of America. You were not considered the nice ones. These were considered the worst ones. So everybody that was nice stayed back and sat on their throne and watched everybody crash out over pieces of land that was already operating by natives, blacks, African descended people, and they came over here poisoning food, raping the women, dirtying everything up, didn't know how to shit in the right area. All kind of stuff was going on. So we're gonna move on. I'm not gonna talk about no more. I think I got one more. How much? I've been 27 minutes in. I can do one more. This is very important that we get this information out to people. So hey, I ain't mad at it. Now, delivering most favorite nation's prescription drug prices to I don't know. I'm over that. They did 2 back to back about wanting to lower the prices. It ain't gonna happen. Asia got a stronghold. India, wherever country over there in Asia and in that continent, y'all ain't getting it. Y'all ain't getting it unless y'all really go over there and you really gotta actually go through Africa and Asia just to get these prices that you want, because you over here got the wrong idea. You stuck over here in United States land, and then you go out there in the real. It's a real world. Like it's other people operating that has the same colors complexion as you, that don't think nothing like you, that have a completely different mindset than you do. So it's like it's going over your head. Just with the authority and power you have in your country, you have to be mindful of this and how you talk, how your tongue is, and hey, if you gotta, like I said, go check in with the right person. I just broke down to you. I'm just get some information to the right people. Go check in with the right person. I don't want to be the one, because I'm young. I still feel like it was a lot of too much disrespect going on. But I just broke down to you what it stemmed from, what we talking about, and what it is. I'm standing right on what I said when I first started doing this show. So let's continue. All right, we talked about. We ain't gonna do no more executive words today. I'm gonna move on, because you know how I get when I talk. I start, but they know what. Go in on you. Well, since I was this little, right? Let's stop playing. Okay, we're gonna play some clips and we're gonna break it down. Go let the real politicians go out here and speak how they did. No, I ain't gonna let y'all play that. I ain't gonna play that yet. I'm gonna go. Which one I was gonna play yesterday? Leader. Okay, like I said, I was a little late. Senator, the leader, Mr. Jeffries, he has spoken on the union, and then I'm gonna play. I ain't gonna go to the Dr. Umar and Dave Chappelle yet. I'm gonna wait to that. I'm gonna wait for that. I'm gonna let people sleep a little bit because I kind of went in early a little bit. Kind of slap some more people up today. And I ain't really saying much. I just broke something down, but we're gonna let him talk. This is not new. This was 2 days ago. Okay. I gotta move on to the other one, and I don't want to hear y'all be here too long for the whole time. But basically, what I was saying. Okay, we're gonna start right when it was. I'm not laughing because the situation is very serious, but I'm gonna break it down to you. They literally just broke. He just told you what they the ladies. This is a white reporter now. I don't know her name. I think it's Dane. I think this is Dana Bash. I think that's her name. If this is the person, they got it under here, but I don't know if this is some typo or not. But she basically was concerned about the ICE officers who supposedly supposed to do the work that regular patrolmen and sheriffs don't want to get their hands too dirty when it's illegals, and they gave these people certain authority and rank when they got here and their money and they not doing it properly. That's what the ICE is about. It's just going in to get people with their expired green cards and doing illegal stuff when being illegal aliens or whatever the ICE people supposed to go in and do. They supposed to patrol and correct what's incorrect and improper, but they going above and beyond. They're attacking little children. They're attacking teenage women. They're attacking females. They going out here doing all kind of stunts in front of the governor and the law. Right here in Washington D.C., which is the United States Capitol. And what he's saying is, we don't work for the Trump administration, who's out of control. And I'm saying administration meaning his cabinet, who thinks they could go out here, sling their power and bully people on United States land, and that's what they're doing with that. So y'all know how I am. Don't come over. Florida is pretty. Even the people that came over here who got their green papers, they're going about it the right way. They get married. They got their ladies in the house, take care of their family, and they out there working 8 to 12 hours per day, working 6 days a week. It's pretty solid in the area I'm in Florida, with the people working and doing their job. I'm not hating on nobody in this area. I see them go to work every day. So now, mind you, it might not be the same in every state, but you gotta realize that if these people, you gotta realize what I've been saying. These people already know that they people was here before they made all these rules up. So they coming over here to take it back the very nice way. And then if people gotta get their heads there, they feel like, I ain't telling them to do it. I'm just saying that's how they might feel. Like they said, they came over here and discovered, then they changed it to rediscover. So, hey, and I keep telling y'all that the worst people came from these areas. They was kicked out of London, Britain, wherever, Spain, whatever country came over here, threw their little bottle of go take over go take over North America. That's what they did, and they didn't even take it over. They split in half because they couldn't agree. They couldn't really agree. And if you really look at it, I think Canada is red, and then the United States is red and blue, and it's still the bottle of the worst. The mentally slow. And I'm talking about the European whites. And that's what the forefathers wrote down their little constitution. I know it was a lot of black people in the background standing around, but they didn't have no authority of what was said and wrote. They probably asked people how it's supposed to be written, and then they probably did what they did and put their name on it. Whatever they did, they ain't helping. They still want to control. So, and then they went down 200 years later. They made the agreement with the natives because they was done getting kicked. They stopped wanting to get killed and playing cops and robbers and Indians and sheriff and whatever. Y'all know, if you know the history, you know the history. Go read your history book. Go ask your elders. And if I say it ain't gonna sound like I'm being fair because y'all see what I am. I'm not on that side. When they say born into it, I was born into it. And they already tried to take. They still trying to take. They still trying to claim. They still doing this in my generation, in my family, to my family. And I don't think we supposed to check in with nobody because this is already our land. This is already, they already subjugated us to checking in with a social and a birth and making us sign. I didn't have to fight no war, but I also did sign up for the school board and work for 5 years, actually longer than that, but I actually went to the school board in 2011 and was a coach. My cousin's still in the school board working. People got degrees. They already signed up with these degrees and got the institute. What y'all want from me and my family? I don't know, but I ain't standing. I'm public searching an announcement that I don't really My energy is for my family. That's about it right now. I'm speaking. That's why I'm giving this information out. So, that's how I look at it. Now, I'm gonna let y'all listen to what Elon Musk said, what they was reporting on last night with him and the Strawman story. And then ain't too much going on in sports. I got to watch the Minnesota game versus the Phoenix Mercury. Ain't too much sports going on. Phoenix lost. They 5-3. Mercury going 8-0. I ain't get to watch a lot of the basketball games. I don't think nothing. Like I watch it on the YouTube TV. I think it's probably a couple coming on TV today, but I'm gonna try to watch some baseball today. I'm gonna try. Like I said, I'm not. I gotta leave the house to go watch it. So, and matter of fact, I might go to. Nah, I ain't gonna go to the Marlins game. I'm cool. I like going to a little pop up game, just showing up. Like I think they playing. I forgot who they playing, but I might be too. I'm gonna be too busy. I can't do. I'm gonna go to the meeting. So, you know. But definitely, if I ain't getting nobody, hits me up for my birthday because I haven't celebrated in 20 years, but I'm gonna go to a baseball game or something. So I ain't gonna just sit in the house that day. I'm gonna just go chill and watch a game or something. And that's pretty much it. Let's read it. Let's go to the last one. We can break it down, then we're gonna end our show today. It's remarks, and tomorrow's gonna be a big show. Mm-hmm. All right, I don't really got time. I just broke that down earlier. I just wanted to play the little snippet of what was actually said. That Elon Musk criticizing him. Then you have Mr. Jeffries criticizing the same bill. Everybody has came to agreement, both the billionaire side and both the working for the people side, which is that's what they say out their mouths. But they really not agreeing with what is going on because it's gonna be so many people that be attacking their pockets. At the end, it's not going to benefit them because they still have to appease the people. So that's pretty much what it comes down to. Now, all right, we pretty much broke down, executive orders. We got a meeting to go to today. Families first. I'm shout out my cousin birthdays, big days. God was made, recreated in the flesh, and once you create another female or a child, you create a life. So I don't know what the book they read. When you do that, that's very close to God. So she got 4 kids, all of my nieces and nephews, or whatever y'all want to call it. That's how I look at it in the upper realms. But it's a very great day, and that's pretty much it. We're gonna end it on that note, you know, and y'all have a great day. Mhm.